Hey everyone, it's Warriors NRL Fanatics here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you are a new viewer to this channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. And like this video as well. Make sure you click the thumbs up on the video, click the bell, so you are notified when I upload any new videos next to when I go live on the channel. So this is going to be my Game 1 State of Origin preview for the Queensland Maroons taking on the New South Wales Blues. It's been played at Adelaide Oval on Wednesday night. So we'll get into the team list first, and then we'll go through some key players, key head-to-heads, and some stats, and yeah, we'll give a prediction and a man of the match. So start off with the New South Wales Blues, because we've got a bit of news that just broke today in regards to some injuries, injury concerns for the Blues. Actually, there was some talk around Payne Haas, but we know Payne Haas is definitely going to be available to play on Wednesday night. But Latrell Mitchell, big blow for the New South Wales Blues. Latrell Mitchell is set to miss this game, and he's going to be ruled out. So he has been named in the centres, so I reckon that Stephen Crichton, who was 18th man, will come in for Latrell Mitchell. So he will be starting in the centres with Latrell, with Tommy Trbojevic. So we'll start off with their team. So Tedesco's the fullback then, captain, James Tedesco. Brian Ty on the wing. Like I said there, I think it'll be Stephen Crichton and Tommy Trbojevic in the centres. Josh Adokar on the wing. Jerome Luai in the 5'8" spot with Nathan Cleary halfback. So the Penrith connection. And the same pairing from Origin last series. Tavito Pangai Jr. makes his debut for the New South Wales Blues, and he starts at prop there. Episai Coruscant is the hooker, and Payne Haas is the other prop. Tyson Frizzell second row, so he returns into the New South Wales Blues side. And Hudson Young making his Origin debut in the second row with the experienced Isaiah Yeo as the lock. So bench reads Junior Paulo, Cameron Murray, Liam Martin, and Nicholas Hines, who is to make his debut off the bench. So yes, and Stefano Utukumani's 19th, so I reckon he will probably be the 18th man, I think. Coaches, Brad Fittler. So now to the Maroons side. So we got here fullback Reece Walsh, Selwyn Cobbo on the wing, Valentine Holmes centres, and Hamiso Tebow Fidel, Murray Talangi the winger, Karen Munster 5'8", Cherry Evans captain and halfback. Thomas Flegler makes his debut for the Maroons, starting in the prop position, and Ben Hunt is the hooker. Lindsay Collins is the starting prop, and David Fifita starts in the second row, with also Tom Gilbert, who's making his Origin debut, and Patrick Carrigan is locked. Bench reads Harry Grant, Tino Fasumalawi, Ruben Cotter, and Jai Arrow. And reserves are Tom Dearden and Christian Welsh. Coach of the Queensland Maroons is, of course, Billy Slater in his second Origin series. So overall, looking to the New South Wales Blues side here, so look, I think on paper it's a very strong team. The biggest blow will be no Latrell Mitchell, unfortunately, for the Blues, which is, not good for New South Wales, because we've seen when they won the series in the past, Latrell Mitchell and Tommy Trbojevic were a strong combination. So now they're going to have to hope that Stephen Crichton does a good job there. So yeah, look. Other than that, I think if you look at the New South Wales team, not too many shocks and surprises. Tyson Frizzell was an interesting selection. Hudson Young is a big one as well. So obviously Hudson Young's been playing very well for the Raiders this year, and it's been knocking on the door for quite some time. So good to see Hudson Young make his debut for the Blues. Probably well deserved in my opinion. And yeah, the bench is very strong as well. So overall, I think if you're rating this New South Wales Blues team out of 10, I'll probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now to look into the Queensland side. So Look, fullback obviously was the biggest shock of them all for me, with Reece Walsh getting the selection over Kalen Ponga in that fullback spot. Reece Walsh has had a good season, but this will be his first Origin game. He's been around the Origin camp last year and the previous year, but didn't get to play. So this is a big chance for Reece Walsh to prove his selection and whether he's going to stay in this team for the rest of the series. So if he wants to prove a case, this is the game to do it. Hamiso Fidel in the centres. Yeah, look, I mean, I think I personally would have had the Hammer on the wing over Murray Talangi, but look, it's going to be real interesting to see how the Hammer goes with Valentine Holmes in that combination there. So overall, I mean, even David Fifita personally think he deserves his selection, and the bench is very strong for the Maroons as well. So I think for me, Maroons team probably gets I'll say it's a 8 out of 10. I think it's a very strong side on paper. So looking into the key battles on the field, so players to watch out for. Now, the fullback battle for me is an interesting one. We've got Reece Walsh, the inexperience of Reece Walsh, the younger apprentice versus the older head and James Tedesco, who's always had a strong performance in Origins over the past couple of years. The skipper, the captain, Tedesco, one of the best fullbacks in the game, and coming up against Reece Walsh, who's probably the most improved fullbacks at the moment, probably the informed fullback in Queensland overall. So yeah, that's going to be an exciting battle. It's going to be real exciting for sure. And I think Tedesco obviously has the experience in the wood there in that battle, but Reece Walsh, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes, in this first game up against Tedesco as well. So that'll be real interesting, and it'll be good to watch actually. Also, looking into the battles in the halves, got Cherry Evans versus Nathan Cleary. So the experience of Cherry Evans. Thought Cherry Evans had a good Origin series last year. Really led the way for the Maroons when they won the series. Nathan Cleary, there's always been a talk around Nathan Cleary in big games in terms of Origins that he hasn't delivered on the biggest stage of all, which is State of Origin. He's delivered for Penrith in grand finals, but there's still a lot of talks around whether Cleary has done enough in State of Origin so far. So look out for that battle there. Cherry Evans versus Cleary. I think if Cleary can dictate terms, then he may get the wood over Daly Cherry Evans. But as a Maroons fan, I'm hoping that Cherry Evans wins that battle. Then you got Karen Munster versus Jerome Luai. Now, Jerome Luai, I think there's been a lot of question marks on, him this year and his form. Now, look, I think they were always going to pick Jerome Luai for New South Wales. There's a lot of talk around Hines. Should Hines have got the starting spot over Luai? I think, personally, they probably could have gone either way, but they've gone with Luai, and I think they've gone with they've stayed true to the combination last year, which is the Penrith combination. So I think Luai obviously needs to have a big series, and starting off with this game, he will want to get under the skin of Cameron Munster, especially, as he's one of those players that can get under the skin of many players in the Queensland side. So Queensland cannot let him get under their skins in this first game to start the series. Now, the forward battle is interesting. So we got Thomas Fleeger, we've got Tavita Pango Jr., we've got Payne Haas as well. Payne Haas, he's having a very good season for the Broncos, probably the best prop in the game, in my opinion, right now. So his selection is fully deserved. So you can't argue with his selection at the moment. It was definitely going to be a solution to the side. So Payne Haas is some player that you've got to watch out for. As a Maroons fan, we've got to make sure we keep him very quiet and not let him, get the meters on the field, especially the running meters, limit his offloads, and that's what I think Maroons should do. Keep Payne Haas quiet. As for the other battles now, so we're looking at here, we've got the hookers, Ben Hunt versus Episode Coruscant. I think Coruscant, look, obviously last year he had a great year because he was playing with a very strong side in Penrith. Now, he's been pretty solid for the Tigers. I think he's been solid. I think he's had a slow start, but he's starting to build his performances. Ben Hunt, look, I think Ben Hunt had a very good year last year. Very good series in Origin especially, so he's very reliable, Ben Hunt, especially whether you put him in the 7 or you put him in the hooker spot. So I think Ben Hunt and Episode Coruscant is a very exciting battle to look out for in the hooker spot there on the field. And I think this one will be probably a battle to look out for very much so on the field as well. So look out for those two hookers there. So, yeah, overall, those are my key matchups and players to look out for. The referee for this game, actually, so it's Ashley Klein, leading referee there for this one. Now, looking into the stats, so we've got head-to-head stats, played 126 times. The Maroons have won 66 and the New South Wales Blues have won 58. There's been 2 draws in the previous meetings. So we had the Queensland Maroons 22-12 over the New South Wales Blues, Wednesday the 13th of July 2022. So that game was the decider, the Origin game 3 decide, which the Maroons retained, took the shield off the Blues from the previous year. And we had New South Wales Blues 44-12 over the Maroons, Sunday 26th of June 2022. That was game 2. So wins. So yeah, looking at the stats here, and that's the stats for the game. So now to a prediction now for this one. So look, I'm a Queensland Maroons fan. I'm obviously going to back in the Maroons here for game 1. Am I confident? I'm quite confident. But I'm also wary that this New South Wales side, could, make it a game which will be, it could go in their favour. It could go in their favour. So I think overall, this is a game where both teams will want to win to kickstart the series because it's so important with, the stats heavily in favour of the team that wins game 1 goes on to win the whole series and retain and gets the shield. So, look, I'm actually going to go the Maroons here to win, and I'm going to go Queensland Maroons 24-16. Try scorers here, so we'll go Selwyn Cobbo for the Maroons, and I'm going to go with the likes of David Fifita in the forward pack there. And I'm going to go with the hammer to score for the New South Wales Blues. I'm going to say Brian To'o, Tommy Trbojevic, and we'll go Josh Adokar there on the wing, which is a player that New South Wales probably really missed last series, especially when they did not select him. He's in there this time, and he's going to add plenty of pace out wide, which the Maroons will have to keep an eye out for. So look out for Josh Adokar. I think he'll score a try in this game. My man of the match, who will be the standout player on the day. For the Maroons, I'm going to say that it will be a Cameron Munster. And if the Blues win it, I will say Nathan Cleary. So those are my man of the matches there. So Queensland Maroons win for me 24-16 and to go 1-0 up in the series. But that is it. That is my preview for the State of Origin Game 1 between the New South Wales Blues and the Queensland Maroons. Played at Adelaide Oval in Adelaide. Don't forget, if you are a new viewer to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're at the 2,300 mark, so let's see if we can get to 2,400 subscribers. And also don't forget to like this video as well. Click the thumbs up on the video, share the video around. Go to the Queensland Maroons and enjoy State of Origin on Wednesday night.